Hello and welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. We don't have much time, it's a very long episode. I'm going to go as fast as I can. We're always grateful for ratings and reviews. Throw us some stars. You can reach us on social media at Billowing Hilltop on the increasingly weird Twix, at Billowing Hilltop everywhere else. You can email us at hello@billowinghilltop.com. That's it, no other news or information. Let's get on with episode 219 of the Billowing Hilltop podcast. Fat Man in the Bathtub. Is it worth buying the remastered Pathfinder books? That is
the original ones.
The one that is compliant with their new license, their open, what's it called? Open reference? Yeah, something. Whatever it is. Anyway, they put their own licensing in place to replace the OGL that they're worried about Wizards.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you haven't bought any of them, then the logical buy is the newest one.
I haven't bought any. Good evening, readers. We're talking about Pathfinder, which we do basically all the time, that we're not actually playing D&D.
I've only got the PDF.
I'm reluctant to buy them, to be honest, because someone made the decision to split core classes into two books. I don't really want to spend £80 just to be able to run a sorcerer or a monk or a barbarian or all the other core classes.
Originally, all the core classes were in the player core.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it had 8 classes in, didn't it?
Right. And then where were the other 8 classes?
They came about in all the other books.
Well, no, I mean...
Is that in Pathfinder 2?
But barbarian, paladin, monk, I would say a core class is sorcerer core class. They were in the original core rulebook for Pathfinder.
Sorcerer's not really a core class, is it?
It's a 3E. 3.5. Yeah. It's a 3E class, yeah.
There was the Advanced Player's Guide had all the weird ones. I thought about getting the paperback mini book, but I got that for Starfinder. I can hardly read it.
Yeah, no, I did the same. I did exactly the same. Readers, if you're interested in all of this Pathfinder stuff, you should listen to the Jason Bullman interview, because he talks a lot about...
play that much.
We don't yet, but it might become our core. We're planning our grand gathering of the Hilltop readers. That's why we're talking about Pathfinder, because we're going to play Pathfinder. So we're now thinking about who needs to buy what books in order to be kind of, because everybody likes new shiny.
If you get a set and nobody else gets a set, the rules are slightly different or the same?
It's mostly renaming.
Right. So be a slightly different rule set than everyone else has.
Yeah. The Glass Cannon are playing remastered, but where they've got a split between old set, new set, I can't remember what rule they're applying. I think they just kind of pick one. I'm just looking at the gaming shelf, and on it is the old Pathfinder First Edition Advanced Player's Guide. That is a work of wonderfulness. Do you remember the heady days of Pathfinder First Edition?
Yeah.
And the APG with the Inquisitor?
Yep.
I think they
even going back to the 3.5, I was looking at 3.5 books as I put them on the shelves.
Yeah.
I got the new D&D book.
Oh, and?
It is very nice, but I'm just beginning to think that it's all a bit over-engineered. That's what I feel. Everything is worked out perfectly. I mean, it works as a system, and they've ironed out a few niggly bits, like we moan about some of the classes not being very good at high level, like monk or barbarian. But I'm just looking back at the old editions. You felt like you had a lot more freedom because it wasn't all worked out for you, that you had a bit of freedom for imagination.
I mean, that is the OGL argument, right, Graham? In a nutshell, the old rules were sort of a skeletal framework, and you filled in the gaps. And the problem with everything from 3rd edition onwards is every single piece of available space has been wallpapered over with rules. So there's a rule for brushing your teeth.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Mm.
So, it all works brilliantly. But
so you're going to want to buy yourself one of these retro clones of the slightly improved version of real AD&D, the OSR books.
At one of our grand gatherings, you ran, what was it? It wasn't Swords and Wizardry. What was it, Graham? You ran that?
Swords and Wizardry was the rule set.
Oh, was it? It was really good fun. And really did feel like old D&D, but with the 5th edition kind of chassis sitting underneath it, so you understood what was going on.
Yeah, what was that adventure again?
Really excellent. Super lethal.
That was good fun, but I can't remember what was the adventure.
Do we do Barrow Maze?
Well, there was something else you ran at the Grand Gathering, like a one-off.
Yeah.
Oh, that was in Hastings ones.
Only Johnny survived, and he had some
really,
kind of
really
poison
simple character sheets, wasn't
or
it?
something.
And we had lots of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Barrow Maze was lethal.
Barrow Maze was lethal. That was Uncle von Wunkelputz. That seems quite a long time ago.
God.
Minced dank barrel.
That was very lethal.
Not being able to stay there overnight.
I died many times.
You had to always return to the town.
That's such a brilliant little idea.
And there was some kind of currency exchange thing going on.
Yes, at the end of every day, the tattered dregs of this adventuring party sort of creak their way home, pushing the bodies back on top of a cart. It's just so depressing, dispiriting adventure. You sort of try and patch the holes and then for some obscure reason head back out across the marshes the next morning. Like, why would you do that?
Just go home. Just go home, Al.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling Abomination Vaults is going to be a bit like that.
Yeah, well, it has been a bit like that. It's been a disaster so far. That's Pathfinder.
Don't go in the wrong entrance.
We haven't played for weeks and weeks and weeks. We have been dispersed to the four winds, have we not? I knew you would do that.
Child.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
But we're all back together again. We'll play some D&D in a minute, but I'm here with Dan and
Hello.
Paul and
Hello.
Graham and Johnny and Dr. Eusebio Spider Lucas. And we're all back in the command pod.
Wasn't Graham at the theatre? Or was that a few back?
Graham was at the theatre, but he came back for the last episode.
How was the theatre, Graham? Did you...
Kiss me,
It
Kate.
was excellent. Not too much of a massacre.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
We didn't rampage through the audience.
We resisted that.
Pillage.
I've been listening back, and there is one thing.
Yes.
We were playing 5e to see if the bound accuracy rule set had managed to extend the sweet spot of the game, right?
Yes.
And we're now, 17th level? And
18th.
I'm still interested. I'm still wanting to
Yes.
progress. The only thing I'm not interested in is magic, because I've got all my slots full. And if I
That's what she
get
said.
something else, I need something pretty serious. And what we keep getting is sort of small things which don't really help. So
On that,
yeah, go on.
there's magic coming up.
Oh, well, I know. I saw your.
Yeah.
What's it?
Cheesy.
And I was like, this is the biggest magic hall in the whole of the Age of Worms. And I'm like, okay, where's that?
Sounds exciting.
Well, yeah. Readers that follow us on social media, oddly, every now and again, you post something and people are all over it. First of all, we've had multiple people ask for a dedicated special episode for when you argue about who gets what, which we'll have to do. So we'll do that. I mean, we'll have to. It's a long list. The second thing is that it's been suggested by, again, more than one person, that we have a competition to see which weird and overcomplex system we use to allocate the items to people.
I think we might have to disappoint people.
Definitely a possibility.
Readers, if you can come up
The
with something.
altruistic approach finally kicks in.
We've had some suggestions already.
Okay, go on.
Well, no, I'm not going to get into the details of them. We'll do them when we have them all, but Ed has sent some in, Paul.
Oh, yes. What's he said?
Faithful reader Ed, who's been with us since the beginning. One thing he did suggest is that we literally just steal the glass cannon thing. Again, those of you who don't listen to the glass cannon, this will make no sense. But they had
They just do a roll-off.
they had an argument about who was going to get one item, and what they decided
That's
on
right.
was they would have a competition between the two characters.
That's that.
The first
Yeah.
character to score
reach-
10 hits against a creature
Yes.
would get the item.
But it got very complicated.
It got very complicated because they overdid it with betting and side
Betting,
markets
yes.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But the basic principle, I mean,
It was
and
quite.
we would, and
It was
we would,
funny.
and we would.
Yeah, we so would.
A bit like Gimli and Legolas or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like it's the first one to get to a certain total. That's quite a good idea.
Mm.
Anyway,
I like it.
readers, if you've got other ideas, send them in, and we will, probably not be able to agree on which one to use. Oh, and one other thing.
Yeah.
While you're on the subject of things that you've forgotten to remember,
Magic.
We got magic from somewhere else.
you missed a whole load of magic. So should we get to that in a bit?
Javelins.
We'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, there's javelins, there's all sorts. We'll get to that in a bit. Can you remember where we were?
We're,
Yes.
Yeah, we're at Marcus Doombringer's place.
That's where you're heading to.
Oh,
We were
what?
in a
Yeah, I'm looking at the map.
tower with horrible dragons in
We're
it.
in the vault. The dragons
Oh,
had
I
burst in
think
when
I
we were
know
trying to
what's-
retrieve the phylactery.
I think.
You've got the phylactery, and you're
I
inside the
know.
prismatic
Oh, shit.
sphere.
And we're heading
There
to
was a discussion,
Marcus
but I
Doombringer.
was very nice last time. But anyway, whatever. I've had my pants pulled down again. Pulled down. Somehow you managed to convince me that up was down, left was right. These things happen. Brazamel the Burning, the imponderably ancient red dragon, just chewed through your prismatic sphere
Mm.
and was at the point of grabbing either the phylactery or you or eating you or whatever. You had the portable hole, the phylactery, and you just managed to engineer circumstances so that Burple gathered everyone together and teleported to the teleportation circle in Marsh Doombringer's lake bed lair.
And nothing.
Actually, something does happen, but not quite. What you're expecting, it's all going to be fine.
Tired thinking about what it could
Mostly fine.
Mostly fine.
But we have a bit of a diversion. You teleport away from the vault, but you don't arrive in Marcus's lair.
Right.
Instead, you hang in silent, boundless darkness. You cannot see each other, but you know you are still together. Your essences are still connected by Burple's spell. There is a sudden rush of images. The first is of a mist-shrouded gorge. The floor, a maze of rifts and pits in which immense vermin squirm. The second is of a towering worm, its head a tangle of eyes and its pale body shrouded in a haze of writhing filaments. As this immense worm lunges forth to consume you, this vision fades to be replaced by a third, that of an elderly man dressed in a silk dressing gown with a chasing dragon design cut obscenely high. He has a long crooked nose, atop which balances a pair of huge spectacles, and beneath which clings an enormous moustache. A spiralling tower of grey hair sticks straight up from the centre of his otherwise bald pate. Suddenly, his expression becomes one of abject horror as his flesh rots away, and a storm of green worms consumes him from within. As the vision fades, you feel the benevolence of Urt settle upon you, and you have completed Book 10 of the Age of Worms. And we move on to Book 11, into the Worm Crawl Fissure, which begins for you in a rush of sound. You hear a voice singing, "I've got a lovely bunch of coconut," and the splashing of water getting ever louder until suddenly you into existence in Marcus's lair. There are squeaks of alarm from the wits as you appear. Marcus is in the bath. There are loads of bubbles. The sigils of the teleportation circle are glowing with a white heat as you sort of tumble out of Burple's spell, scattered onto the floor, with the phylactery sitting evilly amongst you. It must have somehow popped out of the portable hole. And Agatha Frunch just grabs his holy symbol of Tonge, this sun amulet, and kind of brandishes it before him. An acrid smoke suddenly hangs in the air. Marcus goes, "Ooh!" One of the wits, not the one with the loofah, the one with the soap, falls into the bath with a splash. Marcus says, "Goodness! What on hush is going on? What have you done to my teleportation circle? One of my personality fragments is trapped beneath my penis." Bondi, which Bondi, comes running in from the sub-pen, clearly startled to find out what the noise is. She's got a hand of cards in her hand, like she doesn't trust to leave them behind, and from behind her you can hear and people saying things like doubloons. We need to get into what's happened, but first of all,
can I just clarify the situation?
Level up.
Basically, Marcus is in the bath.
Yes.
With Agatha Frunch in the room.
And
then
Agatha's in the room, yes.
outside they're playing cards.
Well, in the sub-pen, you think
Next
Bondi
door.
and the pirates. Yeah, playing cards.
While Marcus is in the bath, talking to them through the door.
It's an open community.
We're relaxed here. I like to have
a relaxed
I have
environment.
sex, I put on my trainers, I smoke some drugs. Yes. As for how the phylacteries got loose, you're not sure what's happened there,
Well,
but something to do
fell
with the
into the
portable
bath.
hole, the teleportation spell, and something that happened in
That's
between
my portable hole.
has turfed it out.
Portable
It
hole.
was your
You mean I've
portable
lost
hole.
my portable hole?
Portable hole.
Your portable hole is fine, Johnny. But,
okay. It's just
but the
not here.
something about the
jumped out of it.
Uncle Buggy, give me an Arcana check.
A 10.
Something about what happened there rings a bell.
Oh, right. It's like when my cousin, was it my cousin? Nephew, Lugpod, intervened with the teleport and brought me.
Your brother. Yes, you've been intercepted mid-teleport before, Uncle Buggy, and it sort of reminded you a little of that, although you didn't end up going anywhere else. Well, not so far as you know. Burple, as you kind of processed the spell, you felt like it had been hijacked.
Yeah. Does it feel like a sort of ascended power might have been involved?
No, it feels like... You give me an Arcana check, actually.
getting a
20.
Full 20.
Okay. Your sense is that it is something, it is a property of a place. That something about where you teleported from, it might be related to the phylactery. It might just be related to something about that canyon. Somebody has the ability to intercept or interfere with teleportation and any other sort of similar magics. But critically here, you feel like this wasn't them. You feel like this is what your 22 gets you. Some other intelligence, not necessarily a malignant intelligence, potentially a benign intelligence, has learnt this technique and has employed it in order to communicate with you during your journey.
Understood.
There you go. Why don't we level up? Let's level up. Since the benevolence of Ort has been visited upon you, let's run around and see what people have done with their new special levels, which I think you're all going to tell me are meaningless. And then we'll pick up.
Sorry, what level are we now?
Bit. I'm not sure.
Graham?
I'm 18th now.
This is another levelling up. When was this?
Last session.
Was I there?
Yes.
Yeah,
you went to the very end. Mike said, prepare
Did
to
I know we were going up a level?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Looking around the table, let's start with Lucas. Tell us about Parker. What happened with Parker? What level is Parker?
High-level monks are so shit. Level 17. Actually, I thought it was really shit, and then I've just noticed now my alarm strikes do 1d12. And I get another elemental activity. I can do Cone of Cold. That's basically
1d12's a bit naughty. What did they do before?
It was 1d8.
See, they should really go to 2d6.
Yeah.
It's just parsimonious of them. You need to move to a point where the averages move up. It's not a question of having them anyway.
Precisely.
You're 17th because you took an extra attunement slot?
Yes.
What else do you get then?
That's it.
Wasn't there something about... Oh, no, that's later on. You get some damage resistance thing you talked about. But is that not this level?
No, that's next level. So it's like the last thing. The thing that holds the monk back is even at 17th level, you get 17 key points. I mean, it's just shit. It basically means you can use your key points for like doing flurry of blows and extra attacks, but effectively it means that all these extra powers you get. So like this Cone of Cold costs 6 key points. It's like, okay, so you can do a Cone of Cold and then you can't do anything else.
Right, I was going to say, what's the economy of key points? You get re-rolls and you get to do flurry of blows and all these things.
But it gets used up pretty... 17 is pretty... that gets used up pretty quick.
And that's it for you. What about...
that's it.
Who else is prepared to put their hand up and tell us about their,
quick
holidays?
I've taken a level of Barbarian.
What?
Yes, that's right.
What?
Sorry.
Because
you spotted something.
What was the thing that you got?
I just get another rage, and I get some more hit points.
Oh, I see.
No, wasn't there something about damage resistance or...
No, I was just about to say the new monk and the new barbarian, I think they fixed some of these shit things.
Yeah, I think they're much better actually, but...
Dream on.
Yeah.
Not playing that.
Anyway, so I've gone up with barbarian, so I'm 6th level barbarian, 13th level cleric. I needed the extra rage because the idea of this character is to come out of rages, do heals or some spells, go back into a rage, and if I've got another rage, it's...
On himself.
It's useful. And I get some more hit points.
So you're 19th level?
I am. But I've only got 3 attunements.
He didn't take the extra attunement.
But I don't understand that. How come you're 19th and
Lucas is 17th?
Parker is 17th? Yeah.
Because he's got level of
he's got
druid in there.
he's got the much regretted.
So I should be 18th level. Sorry, I completely missed that.
Okay, well, you have a think about that. In the meantime, Scaly,
I mean, hit points, a few more spell slots. The main thing which is good is the aura improvements. So the range of all my auras increases to 30 foot from 10 foot.
Oh, bloody hell.
Things like aura of courage, aura of protection.
Wow.
So the +3 bonus is at a 30-foot radius, and 30-foot radius, me and friendly creatures can't be frightened. That's, I think, pretty important, the +3 bonus thing.
It's very important. More important than you may imagine.
Yeah.
There are 2 books left of this whole thing, and this one is a piece of work, especially the second half. I always say this, I look at it and I think, bloody hell, but we really are right into the whatever of things. It's James Jacobs, by the way. This is written by James Jacobs.
Is it?
Himself.
Oh, right.
Yes. readers, if you're interested in James Jacobs, who is he the director of story or whatever at Paizo now? I mean, he's like a founding Paizo person. Back in 2006, he had an editing role in their magazines and Adventure Paths and wrote this installment. In June, I think, is it June or July? He came on and we had a chat. It's a bonus episode, readers, if you haven't listened to it already. And he's a really nice bloke and it's quite interesting. So I recommend you go back. But hit points are going to be useful, Scaly, especially since you seem to get through them at an extraordinary rate. What about Sessions EPA?
Sessions has ascended to the 18th level of clericness, which should have a title, like in AD&D where you would be High Priest or...
Yes.
What about Pit Boss, maybe, for like a Priest of Misfortune? You've moved on from head croupier.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
To Pit Boss.
And eventually you end up being that person's
casino.
Basically Robert De Niro now.
Yeah,
exactly. 18th level.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone's round the corner somewhere.
You get to hang out with Sharon Stone.
So for my 18th level, I get an extra 5th level spell slot, I noticed. I get to channel divinity more often, something that I almost never do.
I was going to say, never do.
Never do. I can now invoke duplicity of 4 images of myself.
Which
again, something that I never do. So very useful. Although I have been thinking there may be some advantage in this now. I may have to look at creative ways of using that.
Yeah.
And more hit points. I think that's about it.
Something you almost never use. Okay.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. And of course, my divine intervention has gone up by another whole percentage point. So
have you got an 18% chance of divine intervention?
I have now an 18% chance of that. I really should try.
I mean, that really is a thing.
I think,
that I will have to try and work out how to nerf.
Mm-hmm.
What about, dare we ask, burbledy herbledy hibbledy hobbledy hum?
Well,
the dog ate it.
The dog ate my homework. Yeah. So I'm. I think I'm going to take Power Word Heal as a ninth level spell.
Okay. What does that do?
It heals one creature back up to 4 hit points.
Well, that's it. Just
nice.
And it cures a few other things.
You can hear a sigh of kind of reassurance and relief coming from Paul there.
That's it, exactly. Paul is sitting, there's another big heal spell that can bring me back.
Okay.
You sell insurance policies, do you, Burple? Can I take out one? I do.
2,000 GP a day. Very expensive.
Well, just for
that's the gold
good
standard.
Value. Really good value.
What do I get for 2,000?
It takes a 0 GP transaction on your card first, just to make sure it's okay.
Yes.
Do you want to take the collision damage waiver?
I'll give you 1 copper piece as a sort of holding payment.
I might take Ethereal on this just to annoy Johnny.
And me. I mean, that would really annoy me,
would it?
Obviously. Would it? Well, Johnny's annoyed me by taking Ethereal on this.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I get to choose more spells. I didn't look at that. 3 more spells I can prepare.
Oh, wow. Oh, God.
So the Bard basically gets to load 2 other spells, but he also gets another version of Magical Secrets, which means I can learn spells from other classes.
You've talked about this before.
Yes. That's what I'm doing with Prismatic Wall, because it's not a Bard. It's not a Bard spell. So I'm also going to take Time Stop.
Yeah, no.
Bloody grosso.
Misty Step. And then I get to learn 1 more from my class, which is going to be Power Word Heal.
How does Time Stop work? Because it used to be like, okay,
I don't know,
that's the end of that. Should we have a look? Legacy Time Stop. Level 9, casting time 1 action, range area, self.
Yeah.
Duration instantaneous. You briefly stop the flow of time for everyone but yourself. No time passes for other creatures while you take 1d4 plus 1 turns in a row, during which you can use actions and move as normal. The spell ends if one of the actions you use during this period, or any effects that you create during this period, affects a creature other than you, or an object being worn or carried by someone other than you. In addition, the spell ends if you move to a place more than 1,000 feet from the location where you cast it. In other words,
it's shit.
It's shit.
In other words,
they have definitely screwed that one over.
Yeah, so I'm not taking Time Stop.
You cast Time Stop. You cast Power Word Heal on yourself.
Yeah.
You wait for 4 rounds and then you rejoin everybody else.
Oh, that's
basically
it. Crap.
Just heal yourself.
You could cast Time Stop and then you could cast Prismatic Wall or Wall of Force and heal yourself.
Yes.
Right, so you could change.
I could buff myself.
You could buff yourself, and you can change the battlefield.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's still fine. It's fine. I'm keeping it.
So, that done, let us pick up with Marcus. He's studying you now. He emerges from his tub just at the last minute. One of his wits prevents disaster by shucking on his dressing gown. God knows what lies beneath it. He stands there, all his extraordinary hair is all lank and dripping. They wrap a towel around it. Well, I never... I'd like to say that it is nice to see you, but this is a terrible inconvenience in the middle of my ablutions. Sorry. What is this object? Is this a phylactery? It must be. Agatha Thrunch says, it is the object of evil. And won't approach it. Tell me about your experiences.
We'll tell him about our experiences.
How long have you got?
Giants and dragons.
You have been to Kongen-Thulnir? What shall we do with this object? It's so dangerous. Shall we destroy it?
Yes.
Shall we use it as a bargaining chip?
Yes, destroy it.
No, hang on. I think Mike was hinting that we use it as a bargaining chip, wasn't he, last time? Because the evil Drakotha is terrified that we will destroy it because he'll be dead permanently. So basically, you can get him to do what he does.
Excuse me when I just lift my jaw up off the table.
We remembered something.
Johnny successfully named a character in the story.
I did have a slight doubt whether I got the right name there.
You got the right name, Drakotha. Yes.
But I don't think destroying the phylactery will kill him, will it? It will just make him killable.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's your understanding of the way that liches work.
But he's terrified, obviously, because he's hidden it in this place, that someone's going to...
Well, he didn't hide it there. The Order of the Storm hid it there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All the credit has just been pissed away, John. No.
Yes, yeah, put my foot in there, didn't I? Yeah.
The Order of the Storm. Write it down. They hid it there.
No, you're right. You're right. Yes.
He's been trying to retrieve it. You got there first. You've grabbed it. You teleported away with it. So, yes, you do have a bargaining chip. Friend guide storyteller. I don't know what the best course of action is. I genuinely don't. He's also looking at the teleportation circle. What happened on your transport?
We got intercepted.
What is intercepted?
Yeah.
I have heard of fish. We have spoke of fish before.
You've heard of fish?
Yes, I love fish.
You've heard of fish before?
Don't take the pish.
The what?
I think if you use it as a bargaining chip, at some point you have to hand it over, and then basically you've handed over your one bit of leverage.
And purplish wise?
We don't necessarily have to hand it over, though.
True. So basically, we renege on any deal that we agree, or we threaten it. These things have hit points, right? Can we reduce it to 1 hit point?
You think you could probably damage it? Yes.
Weaken it enough that it will basically be destroyed by another blow.
We need Eligosh. You know, like old dial-up internet?
Yeah.
He sort of juts out his bottom lip, and he just sort of emits an odd noise, like a modem noise. You know, he has a dispersonality. All his little bits of him are invested in these tiny creatures, apart from the main part of him. He seems to get into this sort of little chirpy conversation with them. You think they're casting little enchantments? One which has got ink in its mouth and a quill starts scribbling on pieces of paper, throwing them into the air, and another wit starts kind of zapping them with like a little crackle of energy, and it vanishes. She will be on her way soon. She is the person to ask about this stuff.
We need to talk about Hestetestapod.
Hestetestapod.
What could somebody nefarious want with him? Tell him about the visions.
That doesn't sound like Hesti.
I didn't. Oh, I thought you said it was a guy in a dressing gown. Obscenely
The
high.
dressing gown, yes. All of our order wear this. It is our...
So everyone wears it.
Who's the bald one with the spiky hair?
It is our livery.
Who's the bald one with the spiky hair then?
That is Rabadabadash.
Of the Robber-Dobber-Dob?
Oh, you know him?
No.
Oh, yes.
But
this is Rabadabadash.
Right.
You see him in a vision, yes?
Yeah.
Describe it to me.
He was all his skin came off.
Yeah.
This sounds very distressing.
Yeah. And do I get extra points for remembering that? No, okay,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, you get some extra points.
4 points.
4 extra points.
Let's write them down.
Yeah.
They'll be useful. Write them down.
Yeah, I've got them written down.
They'll be useful later, doubtless.
In that new points column.
You describe Rabadabadash. He is communicating with you. Can all of you try and make a DC 21 wisdom save, please?
No, I can't because I've got
As
-1.
your minds reflect upon what you saw during your
19.
teleportation journey.
Oh no, 25. There you go. 25.
25 is enough. Scaly gets a 19.
Not
So,
enough.
Scaly, does your aura affect this?
Do we get
+3 to anybody within 30 foot.
Well, I'm going to presume you're all still in a kind of
just
pile of
rolled
heat.
off the 20, so I got
Yes.
4 with the extra 3.
4. Okay.
I got 28.
Oh, 25, and that's even without the paladin.
You got 28
Who
as well.
failed?
I failed.
Scaly failed.
Gaily failed.
Purple Huppish failed.
Burpish.
Okay.
Burpish.
And Uncle Buggy
Those
failed.
of you who saved, you're left with
Well, I
a
rolled
strange
13.
mental aftertaste.
Hmm.
You feel a kind of weird, unsettled sense of something that remains undone and a place that remains unvisited and a debt that remains unpaid.
Mm-hmm.
But Scaly and Burple
And Buggy.
Debt unpaid.
feel
Kettle unboiled.
something a little bit more,
Both
as it were,
undone.
concrete, more material.
A banana unpeeled.
Shoelace untied.
Yeah.
You feel a compulsion
Keys.
to visit somewhere. It's a sense of place that you feel that you're. I tell you what it's like. It's like fucking Close Encounters is what it's like. It's like Richard Dreyfuss making a giant mountain out of mashed potato.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a geese.
There's somewhere you need to visit. You need to visit it. You suspect that you're going to struggle if you don't visit it.
Sounds like
But
me
you
every morning.
Yeah. Forget
Paul's
Close
house.
Encounters. It's Paul trying to sleep for another 5 minutes
Rather than go to the toilet.
when actually
Yes.
he needs to be
Yeah.
wheeled into the room we
And a
dare not name.
Couple of
in
rooms
order
along.
to.
Yeah.
We've all seen how much trouble Thames Water are in recently in terms of their infrastructure, their finances.
And you don't want to attach those pipes in a rush.
Yeah,
It's all
no,
down
you
to
do
Paul.
not want to attach those pipes in a rush. And of course, you must call ahead so that
I've got
all of the relevant safety measures can be taken and they can close the Thames barrier, for example. That's the first thing they
No,
do.
they open the Thames barrier, Mike.
I mean, that's at Paul's house. It's called opening the Thames barrier.
Anyway,
Let's not dwell on that.
keep going.
I shudder to think what it's like inside his box at the moment.
Oh my God! Can you
Swimming
imagine
in it.
what sloshes about down there?
It's very clean.
Lucas, the next time you have to repair him, it's going to be quite an experience.
Nothing wrong with it.
Luckily, Lucas could use 4 of his arms to hold all of the valves shut, while his other 4.
Nothing. A bit of deep
effect
grease there
repairs on
won't
the
help, but it's
equipment.
fine.
Right, so
Mr. Muscle.
describe this place. Where is it? Let's find it.
No,
and
no,
go
you
there.
just know that there is a place that you must visit. Give me an...
It's a geese, I know how they work.
It's a geezer. Give me an insight check. Talking of geezers,
Yeah.
did you see that we'd been asked by one of our readers to record a one-off special Gangsters
Oh
with
yeah,
Accidents?
Gangsters Accents. Yes.
Yes.
We're not going to do that.
we're
Let's
not-
not dress it up.
Disappointing. So
Although,
what role was it you wanted?
I think an insight check. You're searching your feelings. Search your feelings, Luke.
3.
3. Okay. No, you're trying to work out what's going on with this
It's a
weird.
geese.
What about Scaly? What about Buggy?
Okay.
No, it would be an Arcana check to work out what you thought.
A 1, but I get to re-roll
Okay.
it because I'm a hobbit.
Okay.
I'm just going to roll it, get a few bad dice rolls. Hang on.
I've got a
Ignore
luck.
this.
Why am I using my luck?
Ignore.
I don't know.
Was it?
Idiot.
Did
I'm
you
not
say it was an
responsible for
Arcana
this.
check?
So these are lousy rolls. No, it's an insight check.
Okay, in which
Oh,
case-
tell me when we get the real one, Johnny.
Okay,
8, 11. So that was
a couple more.
Oh, that was an 18. That would have done it.
Oh, that was 20.
that's the
That's
one.
20.
That was the one.
Yeah.
no, it wasn't.
No, it
Well,
wasn't.
I'm not going to get another 20 for a bit, so I'm going to carry on. Hang on.
Oh, for God's sake.
That's right.
Oh, you did get another
Okay, I
20.
did
Oh,
get
you
another
did.
one. Well, I'm definitely not going to get
You got
another
one.
20 now, am I? All
Okay,
right, this is
so
it. This
It's going to be a
is it.
long evening of this.
This is it.
19.
Right, fine. Paul, put your dice away. Buggy, you think it's a property of this place. It's a property of being in Marcus's magically warded lair. That means you can't actually resolve in your minds where this place you feel compelled to visit might actually be.
So if we left this tower, then it might become more apparent in our minds where
It
this
might
place
become
is.
more apparent. Yes.
What's the next
Is
book
everybody
called?
longing to go to the same place or different places for everybody?
I think we can presume that you can communicate between yourselves. It's the same compulsion. You feel you need to go somewhere and do something. Tie a shoelace, peel a banana.
Isn't the next book something about the Valley of the something worm? Is that what we're trying to...
The Valley of the something worm. That's close enough. Yes.
Is that where we're supposed to be going? We feel we should be going.
It's the rift. It's where we've just come from, isn't it?
Elagos appears.
Yeah.
God.
In the teleportation circle. In amongst all of you, because you're all sprawled about. And there's this phylactery. So she sort of almost stumbles over. Where all the sigils have all been kind of burnt and fritzed away, there's like melty kind of stuff. And she's like, oh, fucking hell. She kind of lifts her boot up and it's like got gook on the bottom of it. She's like, what have you done? What's going on?
I didn't do nothing.
Marcus is like, I only got to thank you for visiting. I know it's terrible to take you away from your important business. As you can see, we're in a bit of a state of disarray. These brave heroes, well, they've encountered a vision of Rabadabadash. The Rabadabadab. Yes, you know him. No. Oh, he must be. You can sense it, can you not, Elagos? And she's kind of looking at you. She says, "Yeah, there's something going on here." She said, "I can taste the magic." She's sort of looking into your eyes. He has planted something within you.
Yeah, it's a gaze, isn't it? It's a gaze spell.
It's a gaze, huh?
It's a gaze spell, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, it is something similar. It's some kind of compulsion, some kind of enchantment. What do you know what this means, though?
It means...
It means he's still with us.
Yes, it does.
I believe him dead. He's 16 years. The last we know of him, he was going to examine the worm-crawl fissure. You learned this from Lashana. Yes, the worm-crawl fissure. The area at the end of this great canyon, the area where it is rumored that Dragotha does reside. Maybe even Kiosh is there. We have never seen him since he disappeared in search.
Do we know where that is, the end of the Rift Canyon?
I suspect if you didn't before, you do know now. You just do not know that you know it. Yes? Yes? I think he has planted this in your mind.
Yes.
You must go there.
Yes, we will go there.
You must find out why he is calling you there.
We must find out why he's calling
Fish
us
out
there.
the droids you're looking for.
Maybe he's stuck on the astral plane.
Or maybe he's just there, imprisoned by Dragotha.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
Would you like me to hear it?
I'd like you to hear it. Yes.
I have a theory. Would you like me to explain it to you?
Yes.
Certainly. Rabadabadesh, like myself, was interested in this concept of the dispersonality. Splitting one's essence across multiple vessels, living vessels. I have done it successfully. I have maintained myself, my own sense of self, my own id, my own ego. Yes, within my main part of me, this delicious specimen of manhood you see before you. Parts of my mind are split amongst these other parts of me. This is just as much me as me. Yes. He sort of gestures to all these little creatures that are hopping about and doing stuff. Rabadabadesh is interested in this also, but he could not master it. But I wonder whether or not something has happened with him. I've long suspected he was working on some kind of enchantment to split himself into multiple parts. Maybe some trauma, maybe some disaster has befallen him, maybe he has become dispersed in some way. I don't know, I just have a feeling that might be what it is. The only way to find out, of course, is to visit the worm-claw fissure. The other question, of course, is whether or not you take this, he points at the phylactery, with you, or do we destroy it?
Elagos, what do you think?
She looks at it, and she looks at you, and she says, I would say destroy it.
I'm inclined to agree.
You can leave it here. There's probably nowhere safer.
No, but why?
Yes, I would say that she's right about this, yes. I could place it next to part of the Rod of Seven Parts. But as a bargaining chip, you need to have it with you, and I suspect that is probably a very dangerous strategy.
Yeah.
If you left it here, you could teleport back and then destroy it if you needed to.
We could, of course. If you're in a position to freely travel back and forth from whatever it is you do next, then of course you could defer the decision.
I vote we destroy it.
I vote we keep it, but we can teleport back and destroy it. Or have we got a Learman's tiny chest or something like that where you can store it inside? Does that spell?
I've got a tiny chest.
Still exists?
It's just something I've learned to live with. Tonight's beer, by the way, Paul.
Yep.
Is Happy by Cloudwater.
Oh, I've had that. It's very nice.
Graham, you're very quiet.
It's very
what
nice.
Do you think?
Very weak.
Yeah.
I'm happy to destroy it. Seems evil.
It is evil.
Also seems like it will come back to bite us.
Could do.
I see no advantage in keeping it intact. It can only cause us trouble.
Yeah.
Parker?
You got a moment to step into the old broom cupboard, Paul?
I'll wait for that.
Paul doesn't want it.
No, he's gone scaly, isn't he?
Want to just jump into the old broom cupboard, Paul, just briefly?
Yeah.
He's got the staff of Kias. He's a baddie.
Yes.
As you consider this question and start voicing your opinions about it out loud, you're getting a distinct sense from your new friend that we presume you've got it sitting in a bag or a pouch or a right. Just feel like I'm saying this out loud, but weirdly I feel like part of me or something really doesn't agree with that one bit.
Yeah, see, I'm beginning to wonder how easy it would be to give this crystal bow up.
The only answer to that is to ask. Anyway, there you go. That's where we are.
Yeah, got you.
Let's go back and join the others.
You can sort of
Anyway,
sorry
keep our powder dry for a certain amount of time still. One assumes that news that we've stolen it will probably get back to him.
Yeah, he must know because he sent his servants to retrieve it.
So what I'm saying is at the moment we've sort of,
his servants
we're sort of standing there effectively with, like with a knife to his throat. And the point at which we destroy it, I'm just wondering what kind of chain of events that will set off.
That's absolutely, Scaly's like, Parker's got a point. Maybe we need to just
Paul, we
protect
don't.
it.
I would do exactly the
what you
opposite
say
of what he's suggesting. Exactly the opposite.
Yeah, Paul suddenly had a epiphany. But we don't know why.
Breakfast at Epiphanies.
Okay, Marcus, what's the best way to destroy it?
That's a good question. I think just brute force. If this thing is just sitting in, if it had a little set of eyes, it would be like following the conversation. It's just sitting there looking evil.
Yeah.
It's just a box. It's probably hardened and it's probably magically protected, but it's certainly, you could destroy it. I mean, you just need to apply probably enough brute force.
Downstairs with it in a cage? Can't we just put it into
Clint is resting.
You can just crush it against his body.
Sledgehammer the crack or not? Yes, you've heard this expression. Yes, it's an ancient expression. We do not need to use Clint. We can just crush it. Somebody Scaly or somebody just smash it.
Can we decide what we're going to do next?
Well, you need to travel to the Wormcrawl Fissure. I cannot send you there. Some believe that it is there that it tapers down and joins the ancient canyon that leads back to the lands that wait.
Mm-hmm.
Few have made that journey. It is obscured by mists and clouds. Enchanted. I cannot summon those locations in my great windows.
But so you can send us to some point ahead of that,
yes,
and then
we've
got to walk the rest.
If only you had someone, we knew someone who had been there, who had experienced it, that could actually...
Yeah, where is he, by the way?
Oh, well.
What happened to him?
You forgot him.
Hang on. No, he was in the tower with the green dragon.
We left him behind with the dragons by himself.
Well, he might just be sitting in a room in the bedroom.
Can you teleport there and teleport back?
In theory, they might still be there.
I'm not sure what you're discussing. You have met such an individual? What, describe this person? Who is this
Master
person?
P. McWheat.
Master P. McWheat?
Monster P. McWheat, yeah.
Monster P. McWheat? What kind of ridiculous name is this?
Trying to head back. We haven't had a long rest yet, have we? Or have we?
You had one before you took the vault on.
Yeah, so we haven't.
I don't know when that was.
Yeah.
Is there
so
any
we've
rush?
gone up a level, but we haven't.
Yeah, that's right. You've gone up a level,
so we
but you
have to
haven't
go
had a
back
long
to
rest.
get him. Is that what we're saying?
Why do we need him?
Because he knows where something is.
He knows the path through the canyon.
He described his journey to you.
Yeah.
Several times.
Navigating what you think must be the Wormcrawl Fissure, the extremity of the Great Rift, yeah? Somebody said that you were writing it down, so you've got his narration. You don't necessarily
need him.
It might be great to have him. Might be quite difficult to persuade him to go back, to be honest.
Okay, so what's the narration?
Well, we aren't. Paul will know. Paul's got all of this.
Is he?
I do.
Trust Paul.
Yeah, Paul's got this down. He'll know.
Excuse me. It was just the narration of his trip from where he started to where he ended up.
Yes.
There you go. Then how
you could
how
kind of
vague was that?
reverse his journey. They followed a stream that led out of the lands that wait through a canyon, great gorge. They ended up in a lake. He said there's somewhere that your kind called the Wormcrawl Fissure.
Yeah.
A cursed extremity of the canyon. The sky was hidden by mists and cloud, which perfectly matches up with what Marcus was just talking about. They crossed the lake. They followed a red river. They found a great red waterfall. And then they followed the gorge up to the east. They fled because there was a great red dragon that took flight above them, but they hid.
So this is the Red River.
They climbed to the east. Yeah, well, let's come back to that Red River bit. They climbed further east. There were effigies, skeletons mounted on frames, wrapped in worms made of leather or paper. At last we emerged above the cloud layer and found the broader part of this canyon not long after we came upon Kongen-Thulnir. If you back that round the other way, it looks like you descend into the cloud layer. You could expect to find effigies. Then you could expect to find a red river and then a lake and then the extremity of the Wormcrawl Fissure. That's really the only map you've got of what you're dealing with.
Right. So we need to go back to Kongen-Thulnir.
I can send you to the edge of the Wormcrawl Fissure. I just cannot send you through the cloud base. Yes? My scrying will not penetrate it.
Okay.
You could teleport to somewhere that you know. You have this idea of a place in your mind. I would not trust that. I do not believe it would be reliable. But I can send you there.
Whatever we do, we should have a long rest, even if it means waiting for it.
What is all this stuff that has fallen out here, these javelins and...
yeah, good point.
Let's apply those.
Let's
items?
spend some time examining them. Can you identify them?
Well, yes, but of course... do you not have the rules?
Yeah, we have them.
All you need to do is shit with them for a period of time.
Yeah, but it depends if they're evil or not. I don't really want to do that if they're evil.
Oh, I don't get to detect anything evil about these things.
What do they do, Mike?
I will tell you what they do. Then I will go and hide under a blanket while you argue about what to do with them. Let me find the list of magic from... It's from No, I'm not going to do the accent.
Don't do that.
I couldn't do the accent in the first place. Okay. The first item is a cloak called a Mantle of Faith. It's giant size, but it will resize to any wearer. It conveys to the wearer resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from fiends and undead whilst worn.
Not bad. Does it require attunement?
Probably.
Yes, it does,
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
I mean, what doesn't?
Next, we have a Ring of Protection +2. Also requires attunement, but the wearer +2 bonus to armor class, +2 bonus on all saving throws.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
There are 3 Javelins of the Meteor. They do not require attunement. They will resize to the wielder, it says here in my notes. You must target one creature with a ranged weapon attack. The stats are as per just a standard javelin. I think it's 30, 120 in terms of range.
Okay.
On a hit, you cause 1d6 piercing damage to the target and 10d6 fire damage, dex save to half, to all within 10 feet of a corner of the target square you pick.
Okay.
The javelin is consumed if you hit. On a miss, it just lies there. You can retrieve it or they can pick it up and throw it back. Finally, you've got the axe. It's giant size. Now, that's a problem because I think that means that if you're small, you cannot wield it. And if you're medium, you use it at disadvantage. So you probably want to put it in the bin. But it is a +2 keen Dragon Slayer Great Axe, which means that it crits on a 19 or 20 rather than just a 20. And when you strike a dragon target with it, it does an extra 3d6 slashing damage on top of the 2d12 base damage. But you need an enlarged spell to use it without being at disadvantage. Those of you who have got strength of Hill Giant or more, so Gauntlets of Ogre Power don't cut it. We could talk about whether or not you could use it. It's not just about the strength to wield it, it's also about the proportionality of size. So Buggy is 3 foot tall. This thing's probably 9 foot tall.
But 20 strength.
Yeah, but it would, I mean,
maybe go on
let's have this discussion.
Enlarged spell. I can probably do an enlarged spell.
I mean, Stilts is worth it just for that. If you commit, Johnny, that Buggy will from now on, henceforth adventure on stilts, carrying a 9-foot axe, then you can have it. In fact, even if somebody else wins it, I'll put in another one.
So we're going to roll for this
Scaly,
stuff.
what's Scaly use? What's his strength?
Scaly's got a strength of 19.
Do you want an arm wrestle?
So we can't use it. He uses his massive chopper. I don't even want it. I'm not going to start doing attacks at disadvantage. You've seen what my dice rolls are like.
Are we going to roll for the stuff then?
What's it do when it hits a dragon?
An extra 3d6. Hits criticals on 19 and 20.
Yeah, it'll be a nice thing to have. Maybe somebody like, what's his name, can reduce its size rather than enlarged.
I do have giant strength. I use the Sword of Ecosiel and the Sword of Zosiel, but I don't really like them. They don't do very much. They do this lightning, but it's like 3d6. It's not very much.
Have it.
And it might make more sense at this level.
You have it.
So we're returning to the altruistic magic distribution system at 19th level.
But
got a full circle.
Burple doesn't often engage in toe-to-toe.
Not often, but he can. He's not bad at it. It's just he uses spells a lot.
Yeah.
He's not very tough, but I've just taken Misty Step. I've got a +2 breastplate if anyone wants one, and a +1 breastplate. I want to sell those. I've also got this mandolin, right? So this mandolin, it does spells.
Isn't it?
And they're quite useful spells, but the top level one is like 3rd. So fly, invisibility, I can do invisibility anyway. Levitate, protection from energy, protection from evil and good, dispel magic. That's probably quite a useful one. Cure wounds, which I can already do. So I'm tempted about that because it's very expensive and it's taking up an attunement slot.
Yeah. Does the ring stack with a cloak, for example?
A cloak of protection?
No, it wouldn't.
Bonuses stack, don't they, in D&D?
I think they do, don't they?
Or a +2 breastplate. Would the ring stack against a +2 breastplate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they don't have any of that kind of types or anything.
There's none of that bonus typery going on in D&D. It's just a +2 armor class bonus.
I'd quite fancy the ring then.
I quite fancy the ring because it makes me a
everyone fancies the
+23.
ring.
Everybody fancies the ring because it's
obvious.
plus all
It's
knows
simple.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does require attunement.
Yeah.
Mike, is there anywhere I can sell some stuff?
No. Well,
Marcus, not interested in buying a couple of breastplates, magical breastplates?
no.
Hey,
Dinner service.
hey.
Oh, she just
interest you
pieces of silver.
Some of the finest breastplatery.
What is it? Medium or heavy armor breastplate?
Breastplate is medium.
Armor.
So what's that armor class?
Lots.
That's
Why, what are you wearing?
well, I'm wearing half plate +2.
Oh, it's much better than
It's
that.
16, I think. for a
16.
What's your dexterity?
+2. So that's 18.
This is all the rehearsal for this much vaunted
So half plate is
future
medium.
magic horde.
Half plate makes your armor class 15 plus your dex modifier.
It's +2 half plate, so it's armor class 17.
Yeah, so it's one
plus-
better. Plus you get 2 dex. But your disadvantage on stealth rolls
Yeah,
with half
I
plate.
got that anyway.
Half plate with breastplate, you're not.
So the
It's one worse.
+2 breastplate
One
is armor
worse
class
than half.
18.
With your dex modifier, yeah.
Oh no,
Half plate is 19 with your dex modifier.
I'm confused. Yeah, I'm armor class 19.
Yeah.
+2
because you've
half
got-
plate, +2 dex.
Yeah. So breastplate would make you 18.
Well, I don't want it then.
No. So can I
That's
sell it,
on
Mike?
your stealth
Mike,
stuff.
Mike,
Yep.
Mike, hey, Mike.
I said I'm not interested in transactions.
Okay, so typically we got 4 items and then like 5 characters.
Is this the
Got-
big magic horde
Yeah.
you're talking about? I hope
Yeah.
not.
No,
Mike.
this is book 11 is the big magic horde, the one we're coming up to.
Johnny, what level are you again?
19.
You're 19.
Remembers that well
so
enough,
you
doesn't
didn't
he?
take the extra.
No, I didn't.
Extraordinary, isn't it?
But I could drop the boots of speed because I'm already quite fast. So I wouldn't mind the +2 ring.
Everyone wants the +2.
Well, yeah,
So again,
that's
roll
why
for
we're going
choice.
to roll for it, isn't it?
Roll for choice.
back to the traditional approach.
Okay,
What we do,
D100.
percentile? Yeah,
Yeah.
might as well.
Okay. Getting 14.
Okay, optimistic might do better.
In some ways, Dan, that makes life so much easier.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to palm the ring, Mike, without anybody seeing.
Well, nobody's watching. I'll put the mantle on. Oh, 92.
92 from session.
Oh, no.
92.
Got me in with
very
shouts.
smug.
Got me in with a
outside
shout.
of the table.
Graham, who's normally in the other room.
17.
He's
Now
gonna have the best
zero
armor
from
class.
Lucas.
69.
Yeah, you
Just
don't
when I
need
could
the
have
ring,
really
Graham.
used
You're
it.
never anywhere near combat.
Just
Yeah.
when I could really have used it.
Finally, is this
Four.
Four.
I'm the one
Four.
that bloody
Last
Four.
choice.
stands at the front
Four.
and
You-
kills the monsters.
Well,
So,
sessions.
the ring's very tempting. Can you just run through the mantle again as well?
Yeah, it's a resistance to slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning damage from fiends and undead.
Undead.
Right.
Undead. Fiends and
I think I will
undead.
take the ring.
Okay. Next, it is Scalio Tool.
I don't think any of the rest was interesting, was it?
I mean, it's a question whether or not you treat the javelin separately or together.
How many are there?
3.
3.
No, we could go round again.
Let's go round again.
Do 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 do. Paul, are you with us?
Paul.
I'll take that. The mantle, please.
The mantle.
Mantle.
Next, it is on extraordinarily on 17. It is Parker.
Are the javelins all together or one?
Yeah,
Well,
I think they should be.
I'll have the javelins.
And then on 14, it is Burple.
Well, I'll take the axe.
Right. Have you got a bag of holding?
Yeah.
That's lucky.
Well, I might
long.
actually walk around with the axe.
It's like a canoe. I mean, it's enormous.
I have 21 strength, so can I use it unaffected?
I'm minded to say probably yes, but let me have a think about it. Let me Google it.
What's
a bit.
the mantle called again?
Google it, man. Google it. It's called a mantle of faith.
What were the javelins called?
Then on 4, what do we get?
On a 4.
Nothing, right? Nothing. Even though I...
Phylactery.
At the front.
The phylactery.
You get to bash the
Bloody
phylactery.
ridiculous.
Yes. You're in the phylactery, yes.
So what are you doing with the phylactery? I'm not going anywhere with you with that thing.
In the 70s, they used to have those places where you would go and like smash pianos to bits.
Yeah.
To kind of
Yeah.
take it. Well, it's
I'll take the
it's
phylactery.
just an
I'll take the
it's an
phylactery.
experience. For you,
No, you're
Uncle
not
Bonnie,
taking the
to smash-
phylactery.
To smash it to smithereens.
We need to destroy the phylactery.
Well, we weren't unanimous on that.
We weren't unanimous, but we were majority in favour. All those in favour of destroying the phylactery say aye.
Aye.
Kind of not.
Does anyone
So
want...
that's 4
Hang
to
on,
1.
hang on.
Or have
It's
anything-
Sessions and Burple want to destroy it.
Did Scaly really just say that?
Burple and Parker want to hold off for a minute, and then
Scaly really just say
No,
Scaly
Aye.
says
No,
keep it.
Sco's like, no, we think we should keep it. Come on. It's friendly.
Polish it.
It's friendly.
really brings the room together.
I'm going to give it a cuddle.
Parker, you're in favour of destroying it?
yep,
did you
yep,
say?
I said aye.
So 3 of us in favour of destroying it. Majority rules. And since it belongs to you, bugger off, you have to destroy it. Off you go.
I'll stick it in my portable hole and I'll say I'll destroy it later.
Can I borrow your axe?
I'll destroy it later, I say.
No.
Putting it in the portable hole.
I vote we put it in the corner and everybody does
stuff?
the biggest spell they know on it.
portable hole.
Well,
No. Destroy it before we go anywhere.
Yeah, put it in the corner and everybody does,
there's no corners in
Fireball.
Marcus's round office.
Put it in his bath.
Yes, this is a good idea. This is quite fun, yes. Empty the bath, Wit and Marcus.
Is he
Tip
standing
the
there
bath up.
completely starkest?
No, he's got his little dressing gown on, yes.
Oh.
It is the livery of our order. His Heshti,
Oh,
myself. I must summon the order, The age of worms is almost upon us. I can feel it, yes.
Yeah.
I need to bring together a company of wizards.
There is
In
something
order
bad
to,
about destroying it. There's something that
I think there is.
makes
If
it
you think
potentially
about
stronger
it,
in the short term.
If you think about it, we are bringing about the Age of Worms by the actions that we do. That's the whole adventure has been like that. We've been influencing things, and while we're trying to stop the Age of Worms, we're also been sort of bringing it about. So I think actually destroying the phylactery is actually going to accelerate that. It's just we're sort of unwittingly
If you can't
bumbling
agree
along.
between you amongst yourselves, you can all leave it in escrow with me. I can become its custodian. That way you know it is safe.
Do we?
It is an evil object. Agatha is not happy about this. Agatha Frunch is not going anywhere near it. He's already got 90-something. He looks like he's 100 and something now, just by being close to it.
Well, I think Lucas might be right, that if we destroy it, it might actually trigger Dragotha to start doing something that he wouldn't have done otherwise.
It is possible.
What are we doing if not trying to stop the Lich? We can't stop the Lich without destroying the phylactery.
Yeah. But it seems to me if we're being sent off on this next journey, then there's no point taking it with us because that's too dangerous. So
Okay, well, I don't
we
mind.
destroy it before we leave, basically.
Mike, we're going to destroy it. We're going to destroy
That's
it.
what you want to do?
We could
Oh,
do
go
a
on,
commune spell.
Oh, that's a good
Wheel
idea.
away to
very
destroy the
good,
phylactery
yes.
at this time.
Well done,
We
Graham.
won't get a straight answer, though, unless you word it very carefully, because there's
let's see, why
probably pros and cons of destroying it.
So I guess we're back into in order to prevent the Age of Worms, or advance us in our quest to prevent the Age of Worms, should we destroy the phylactery at this time?
What are my options? Yes, no, or unclear?
Yeah.
The paths of fate are too tangled in the future.
We're getting an
It's
unclear.
just yes, no, or unclear, isn't it? So just nothing else.
Yeah, so unclear.
So there is
Okay.
probably a circumstance where we may want to.
The spell is the issue. It has to be 100% certain that destroying it is the right thing to do to get a yes. right?
Yeah, I mean,
And it needs to be 100% certain that it's much better not to destroy it for it to be a no. So you're just going to get an unclear, I'm afraid. You get unclear.
Well, you could rephrase the question.
we can
The
try.
balance
Yeah,
of
we got
Yeah, of
probabilities.
course.
Is it more
that's
likely to?
all good. Yeah, that's
Do
it.
you want to try that one?
Yeah,
The answer to that is yes.
and we got one more. Anyone? Any thoughts?
Will breaking it enable Dragotha to release Chaos?
Is Rabadabada still alive or something? You know, is there? And you want a weakness, don't you? What is the weakness of Dragotha?
Misfortune says, of the rubber dubber dub. Oh, you know him.
Uncertain.
Oh, that was an answer.
Graham, it's your spell.
Yep. Okay, I'm just having a thought.
Can I have a thought?
Can I have a thought?
Can I use my Spider-Man booties?
Would finding Rabadabadas help us in our quest?
I think that's just going to happen, isn't it? Does anyone want a pair of swords?
Isn't that linked with your destiny, the swords?
Uncle
I
Buggy,
don't do anything.
do you want to borrow a cloak of protection +1?
Do I have to attune to it?
Yes. It would mean you couldn't use your boots, but
Cloak of protection +1.
Not sure.
+1 on your saves, +1 on your armor class. Just thought might help you.
Yeah, that's a generous offer. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm thinking, do I get rid of Kenneth Mandolin in favour of the axe?
Kenneth Mandolin.
Kenneth Mandolin. Or do I borrow Graham's +1 cloak of protection so I could swap out the swords of Icosiel and Zosiel because they're crap for the axe? What damage does the axe do?
It does 2d12 because it's giant size, and then an extra 3d6 on dragons. But critically, it's keen,
Yeah.
so it criticals on a 19
Well, I
or
kind
20.
of need a decision on whether I can use it, mate. I will.
Yes, you can. There you go. With the belt of giant strength.
Right. I think it's better than the
Clear
short sword of
answer for you.
Icosiel. Thank you. So I will.
Right. Have you got a third question?
Yes. How do I get to the broom cupboard?
You want to go to the broom cupboard, Graham? Sure. Let's go and have a quick chat, and then we'll
Hang on,
talk about the third
What's
question and
going
we'll
on
be
with
back.
sessions?
Right. Yes. What is it you have for your third question?
My third question, because I'm beginning to think something is awry, my third question is Scalio Tool becoming evil?
The answer to that question is yes.
Thought so. I just wanted to confirm that.
Right. Well, head back to the others. Right. What's your decision on the phylactery?
I vote destroy it.
Yeah, we're destroying it.
Destroy it.
Okay. I don't think we need to get into the detail of that. With Marcus's help, you can basically smash to smithereens.
Can we take a long rest first? Sorry. before
Sure. If you want to take a long rest, of course.
Just in case you get
of course.
teleported.
Yes. Feel free to use the facilities.
Long wrist button?
Yeah, long rest button. Fine.
Nice.
The last blow through whichever method you settle upon between yourselves to effect this thing's destruction. As that falls, you do hear, all of you, a kind of keen, dusty, grating, skeletal, draconic kind of wail running through your minds. You suspect as you release that little portion of Dragotha's soul, which is bonded to the box. And then it's done. It's just a pile of splintered wood and gesso, is it what it's called, and lacquer and kind of decorative stuff, and its magical essence is lost and it's done. We must talk about your next step. I can send you to the very borders of the worm called Fisher.
Yeah.
While you hunt for Dragosha, I will summon the other members of our order. I've got some names of other members of the order here. Hold on, let me see if I can find them. Oh, God. They're not funny. They're just names. So he's just got to tell you about them. Aberranta Cahoop. She is now a recluse. I must find her. Le Gentile Vondermarshall. She is across the mountains. She is researching the frog wizards of Bunch. Heshti, Testapod, the old fool who of course you know well. And then if there is Rabadabadash, if we can find him. And then there is myself. Perhaps together, as a group, we can try and block the schemes of Kiosh. He gestures at one of the great picture windows in the lair. Opens out this kind of widescreen vision. The spur of the Rift Canyon that narrows down into this area that you know of as the Wormcrawl Fissure. all you can see is that the floor of the canyon is descending, and at a certain point it hits a kind of cloud base. Let me put you on a new map. There's not much to be seen. You can see the canyon floor, you can see the walls of the canyon climbing up to either side, and then at a certain point the slope of the canyon floor disappears beneath this cloud base. There is a spur of rock piercing up through the cloud base. You know those pictures of Canary Wharf or Manhattan when the cloud base is low, with the skyscraper sticking up? Otherwise, all you can see is the canyon narrow, then split into 3 distinct sections that narrow progressively away from you to the west. The scale of this map is huge. I think each square is half a mile.
Oh, right, okay.
Are you ready? Shall I send you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but before we go, I hand
I'll do a death ward first.
Marcus the staff and say, you might want to look after this. I don't want it anymore.
Agath of Thrunch, when he sees this thing produced, just hisses and recoils. Marcus peers at you. Yes, hand it to me. This is the right decision. As he takes hold of it, he reacts, and he immediately places it down on the ground beside him. He says, this is something that we should not involve ourselves with. This needs to be placed somewhere safe. Eligosh, see to it. You should be free of its malign influence. Yes?
Yeah. Too much.
Are you ready?
Too much for
all
me.
of you? Are you ready for this quest?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this challenge before you?
Is there anything else we need to do before we go, guys? 'Cause we're not going to be stopping.
Passports.
Sandwiches.
You've
boarding
got all
passes.
your liquids in a clear
Got
plastic
me
bag.
death ward.
Okay, if you're ready, shred them through. And the vision in the window grows around you to the point where you cannot tell where the view through the window ends and reality begins. And you are at the borders of the Wormclaw Fissure. What will you find there? Well, we're not going to find out now. We're going to find out what happens when you start book 11 of the Age of Worms into the Wormclaw Fissure, where we pick things up next week.
Hurrah!
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. Into the Wormclaw Fissure and Age of Worms are copyright Wizards of the Coast. Into the Wormclaw Fissure was written by James Jacobs. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening!